Tonight, a banner case just got added to the federal docket. Harvard is suing the Trump administration, accusing the president and his people of breaking the law and treading on the First Amendment. Quote, the government has ceased the flow of funds to Harvard as part of its pressure campaign to force Harvard to submit to the government's control over its academic programs. That, in itself, violates Harvard's constitutional rights. The government says that it is freezing these funds because Harvard failed to sufficiently protect Jewish students from anti-Semitism protests last year. But the university in this lawsuit, Dan, says this: the government has not and cannot identify a rational connection between anti-Semitism concerns and the medical, scientific, technological, and other research it has frozen that aims to save American lives. They're saying that partly because the list of demands was released publicly, and we know what they were asking for, and hardly any of it had to do with anti-Semitism.
Look, it's going to be a strong legal case, and I think Harvard had kind of no choice here. Why? Because look what happened to Columbia, right? They started negotiating, right, and they're still getting their money held back. So Harvard's position is probably like, well, you know what? We might as well go for it. Now, just because they've got a strong legal case doesn't mean it's still not a political winner for the administration. I think it is, meaning I think they will lose in court, but the government's going to pay for the defense. And the administration can say, we went after the Ivy League schools. Who's going to be yelling and screaming in the streets about the idea that these incredibly wealthy Ivy League schools are being targeted? Meaning, it doesn't make it right. But from a political perspective, I don't think he's got to lose here.
Can we stay on what's right for just a second? Because I think that there is a temptation to just go all the way to like, well, it's not right, but politically it's great. What about what's right here? I mean, is it right for the government to say, unless we control all aspects of how you operate as a private institution, you can't get federal money for research? It's not like it's for free, right? They're giving the university money to provide services to the public good.
I think it's overly broad to say they want to control every aspect of how a university operates.
A lot of aspects.
I do believe, I agree with Dan, the fight is worth picking, if only because they do have a terrific argument on the idea that these Jewish students had their civil rights violated. I mean, Mike can probably comment on it, but we have laws in this country that the administration believes were violated as it relates to the civil rights protections that should be afforded to everyone, including these Jewish students. And so I think it's a fight worth picking, if only because of that.
But why didn't the demands deal with that, A? And I mean, you've been a critic of the Columbia stuff, but
you don't actually believe that it's just on the anti-Semitism, though. I mean, that's the thing. Come on.
I said the fight is worth picking because of that alone. But there are other reasons.